Today, as we take you through legendary New Mexico, we're heading to the Unser Racing Museum to find out how you can get your motor running with some of the great exhibits and events. And joining us now from the museum is Tom McDuffie, the lead docent and archivist, gosh, I always get it wrong, and curator. He's a busy man.
There you go, there you go.
All right, so tell us about the museum.
The Unser Racing Museum was originated in 2005, so we just had our 10th anniversary last September, and we added on to the museum in 2010. So we got a much bigger museum now than we used to have.
Yeah.
And it's dedicated really to all types of racing, but principally it's in Pikes Peak racing and IndyCar racing.
Okay, let's take it back because the Unser racing family is something I didn't learn about until recently. So, I know, bad me. So tell us about that. Tell us about their history.
Well, the Unsers, it was Al Unser's dad, Jerry Unser Sr., and his wife with 3 of their 4 boys. Al Unser Sr. is the youngest of 4 boys. They moved here from Colorado Springs area in the mid-30s and started a garage out on the west side. And it was the first garage as you came in from the west on the old Route 66.
Really?
So their heritage in Albuquerque goes way back.
Very cool.
For sure.
So where do they race?
They raced all over the United States, actually in dirt car racing.
Yeah. On dirt car racing?
In dirt car racing is where it originated. That's where you've got basically stock cars. More of a predecessor to what you see in NASCAR racing. And it was everyday cars, actually.
Really?
That raced on dirt oval tracks.
Oh my goodness.
And there's tracks all over the country.
Okay, so let's talk about Pikes Peak and Indy 500 racing, because I was just telling you during the break that I went to Colorado Springs recently and I had no idea that they raced up Pikes Peak.
Oh, yes.
So tell us about that. I think this is really cool. I think you said it was the 100th anniversary, right?
They had the 100th anniversary of their first race. Indy 500 race started in 1911. Pikes Peak started in 1916. And Indy, in fact, just had the 100th running of their Indy 500 at the end of May. But the Pikes Peak race is like a 12-mile course going up the mountain with all the turns. It was all dirt at the time that they raced. And like we discussed, I think there's very few, if any, guardrails as you go up there.
A little freaky.
It's a little treacherous.
And it's the highest peak in the entire southern Rocky Range, which is pretty wild. So tell us about the museum. What can people expect when they come and visit?
Well, at the museum, like I say, we have 2 parts. And as you enter, we have family tree of the Unsers to kind of help you, guide you through the names, especially the Lewises and such in the museum. And then we have dedicated areas to Pikes Peak cars, to Indy 500 cars. We have what's called Jerry's Garage, which is dedicated to the heritage of Al's dad having the garage out on the west side. And in there we have a lot of events. That's open for events, weddings actually, and receptions and graduations and dinners and all types of things.
I come from a car family. I know my dad and my brother, even my mom would love this. So Tom, if people want to get in touch with you, learn more about the Unser Racing Museum, how do they do that?
They just contact the Unser Racing Museum. They can go online to unserracingmuseum.com and learn more about the museum, and it has all the contacts and such in there for the museum.
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. And we can also link you up at casa.com. All right, guys, so before we go to break, let's go ahead and get a look at what's on to Casa tonight. We have Rosewood, followed by MasterChef.